Stockpile Hobbies.
Welcome back to Stockpile Hobbies, everyone. My name is Steve. Today I am going to be replacing the Outer World 4-gear chassis on my AFX Dragster. We're going to remove the billet aluminum wheels, and we're going to use my Jag's DR-1 chassis underneath it. So we're going to get everything set up here. I'm going to be using my Scale Engineering wheel puller. Check them out. You can find a link to them in the description. They have great products. The other big question here is, are these axles here the same size as the 4-gear axle? I hope they are, because otherwise the billet wheels aren't going to fit, and then this will all be for nothing. Alright, so I already got the tool in place here, and actually I want to get the body off of the car here as we do this. So I got the wheel installed in the wheel pusher here, and I got the pin of this on the axle here, so it should pull the tire forward as we push the axle off. Let's bring it down here so it doesn't fall. There we go. So before we go any further, I want to get this Outer World chassis out of the dragster body and then get the wheel off so that we can test fit the axle diameter here. So there's an AFX style dragster setup if you've ever seen one before. Of course, that is not in an original AFX 4-gear though. I do have the original one for the car. So now to get the wheel off here, I spin it. That's it. You just spin it off. Just want to confirm that the diameter of the axle here is too large. I can't even press on the wheel, or if this was actually larger, get it on there and glue it to the axle. So yeah, there's no way I can even do this. So I'm gonna put everything back together. That's because this style axle here in the 4-gear, I forgot it's totally not like what the DR1 has. It has the awesome like tyco style rear end here. So I got to put this wheel back on the DR1. So I just started it here with my hand, and I went through my adapters I have here from Scale Engineering, and I have the suitable one here that matches the tire here, and that's great. So that can float here in the press, and I have the matching adapter for the screw side as well. So what I'm going to do now is put the chassis in like so. And this will keep everything straight as we press the wheel back onto the chassis. Right there, it looks good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the wheel out a little bit on the other side too. It got pushed in. So I don't feel like removing the front wheels, but you can see from the back here on the dragster, these little skinny minis here aren't going to cut it. There's such a wide diameter here on these DR1 rims. I don't know if these fatter silicones would fit on it. Let's try it. You don't really want to push it on any further because the gapping there, it will touch the body. And now for the front wheel, we're just going to pop these off from the bottom. We're going to push up and they come right off. So now to mount the front part of the car, these cutouts here in the chassis are for the springs. They have room to actuate. So we're going to find a spot just like that right there and see if they can actuate. And it's lining up with the back circle on the chassis. So I'm going to use a small screw now and set that. I found a really small nut here that just slipped over the long screw to adapt the AFX 4-gear mounting chassis here to the DR1, and with that we can see there's our nut there, our shim, and it looks good. Now you can add a third screw here if you like. Seeing as I added the extra nut already for more weight, I'm going to leave that screw out. This should just go like a rocket, I think. Let's check it out. Alright, I've warmed it up. Let's see what it does. Yeah, so we had a bad time there. I think the body is dragging on the chassis, so I might have to put a shim in the rear of it somewhere, but here's how far I made it up the wall. You see over here, I think it's doing that possibly, but I gotta force it down. Again, this side for sure. So let me see if I can put something on top there to keep the body separated. So the issue at hand here is that the shoes are a little bit wider than the 4-gear shoes, and this one can freely actuate, but this one's getting bound. And we just get something in the back up here to come off the top of the chassis to keep it separated there. Alright, let's go crazy. I got the shoe here. I'm going to come in with the Dremel and just try to nudge in the side just a little bit. I'm going to put it on a really high speed. So I ended up doing it for both sides of the shoe. I'm going to do it on both shoes as well. After test fitting it a couple times, both sides need to be tapered in. Alright, so I got some super glue here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue in these shims here that I cut from a toothpick. They're just long enough to lay in here where we need them. And this little bump stop here will rest against the top of the chassis, and that should keep it from bottoming out and rubbing the tires and everything else that we don't want it to do. Put some glue on the ends of this. There we go, that looks pretty good. To make it all blend, I'm just going to put some flat black primer on our brush and just dab it on. Alright, let's see if this can go together now without any tires rubbing. It's working. There we go. We got an air gap all the way around. Beautiful. So now, I don't think I want to put the screw in the front because it sucks the front tires down and will cause the dragster to sled more than get the rotation. So if I put the screw here, it lets me kind of pivot the chassis a little bit before it runs to make sure that the front wheels are making contact with the track, because it kind of has a natural tendency to bow upwards. We have the chassis screwed in. I have great actuation on the pickup shoes. The tires are mounted. They're not touching the body at all. I think we are good to go. I've been doing a couple test runs here. The car is very dangerous. It's all over the track. I think it's because of the super slick tires I have on here, and they just weren't designed to handle the power of the DR1, I think, so it gets a lot of oversteer. I think it actually oversteered in the last one here, clipped the top, the clock tower, and flipped. So I'm going to film one here. We'll see how it goes. And also it tends to look like it jumps the line, but it's hard because it has a long nose once you get the timer up on it. Alright, well, everything survived. I don't know if I actually caught that on the video or not, but again, it oversteered and it wiped out. That's insane. I found I had the screw though, so I'm going to put the stock DR1 tires on it and see if that helps it. Alright, we got the stock tires on there. Let's see how it does. Oh, it did it! It did crash. 0.48, I don't think that's legit because of the length of the car. When I stage it, I need to stage the car so that when I come up to the sensor, it catches the wing here sometimes, and you see the gap after the wing as the body tapers. It thinks it's going through the finish line, so I really need to kind of... so I'm going to try and stage the car a little bit differently. I'm going to probably get the eye somewhere around here versus having it up here on the car and see if we get an actual reading for it. And luckily I made my selector long enough to reach all the way down here from over there. Let's see what happens. I don't want to get it. Wow, it's just as fast as the V-Specs. 0.629, how was my reaction? 0.251, not bad. So yeah, it was totally the tires there making this thing all wash out. So for display, it's, you know, it'll look cool. I'll have them on there for display, but it's good to know that when we drag race, we can actually use this, and it's pretty darn quick now, for sure. That's cool. Awesome. that was pretty cool. We got the body mounted here. We got the shoes actuating. We know that we got to use the little skinny tires here, but I'm gonna flip on those freaking drag tires are gigantic. I love the way it looks with them up on display over here. But I definitely prefer the larger fat tires on the car. But yeah, it's got some speed to it now. So I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and keep having fun, everyone.